one day.
So, first, second, and then
Okay. Happy hot afternoon in the summer. It is voting time, and we need people to get to the polls. This is the most important election of my lifetime. You can vote today, you can vote tomorrow, and you can vote Tuesday. So please make a plan to vote. But this is also a ranked choice election, and today Andrew Yang and I are campaigning together because what's good about ranked choice is you can actually vote for what you are for, not for what you are against, that you can disagree with people and have them be part of your ballot. But I am here because I believe in ranked choice. I believe it is the right thing for this city, and I am excited to make it so that everyone comes out to vote. And as I said, today, tomorrow, and Tuesday, I am ready to make sure that we are bringing this city back strong, that we are supporting our small businesses, that we are supporting families with free childcare, and that we are keeping our city safe. And I am thrilled to be able to have met voters out in Queens this morning, out in Brooklyn this morning, and I think I'm hitting a couple other boroughs as we make it through the day. But thank you all for being here, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Yang.
And thank you, Kathryn, for giving me a ride here in her van, which was delightful and air-conditioned and filled with a tremendous group of people. One of the treats I've had from today is check out this joint lit, everyone. This joint lit is lit. Am I right? I got that right? So thrilled to be campaigning with Kathryn Garcia today, and also thrilled to get out the vote with Kathryn. The ranked choice voting, to me, is an opportunity for people to make their true preferences known, to be able to support multiple candidates. And anyone who's been paying any attention to this race knows that I am a huge Kathryn Garcia admirer and fan. I would urge anyone who is supporting me as their first choice, please do have Kathryn Garcia on your ballot. We need to make sure that candidates who are going to do the right thing for New Yorkers get into City Hall. And so if you support me, please do have Kathryn Garcia also on your ballot. She's a tremendous public servant. She's a good person. She will do everything she can to help us and our families. Well, I listened to people with questions already, and I wasn't even done.
I guess they're hot. They might be a little hot.
They are hot.
They're hot.
So I couldn't, I'm sorry, I'm going to expose myself to so when I talk to New Yorkers, people are concerned first and foremost about whether we feel safe on our streets, in our neighborhoods, on the subways. I'm honored to have been endorsed by the Police Captains Union this week and the firefighters last week. These are the New Yorkers who have dedicated their lives to keeping us and our families safe. And as your mayor, I will deliver the public safety that New Yorkers expect and deserve. There's no more important task or priority. And after we deliver on public safety, then we can get then we can get our small businesses back on track. We can get jobs back here in New York City, but it starts with public safety. I know Kathryn Garcia is going to be a champion of public safety as well. Thrilled to be here campaigning with her, and thrilled to make the case for New Yorkers that you have to get out and vote. And if you don't like lines, if you're a New Yorker, who here doesn't like lines? Woo! You guys like lines?
I like long voting lines.
Who doesn't like lines? You can get out and vote today. You can get out and vote tomorrow. You're going to have a short wait. I know some people love and like the experience of voting on Tuesday when there are going to be a lot of people at the polls. If you have that opportunity, great. But if you know who you're going to vote for, feel free to vote today or tomorrow, not Monday. There's no voting Monday. And if you do support me, please also support Kathryn Garcia on your ballot. She deserves it. Thank you all so much.
Gloria, Emma, Tim.
Thank you. For Ms. Garcia, I want to ask you about some of the comments that have been made on the trail up until today. He's been critical of your record as sanitation commissioner. You've raised questions about his ability to manage the city considering his lack of experience. How are you merging all of those comments now? I mean, what is your position? What changed your mind? And what's the strategy really here?
Let me be very clear. I'm not co-endorsing. We are campaigning together. We are promoting ranked choice voting. not agree with everything that Andrew has said, and I'm absolutely sure he has not agreed with everything that I have. But we want to make sure that people get out to vote, and that they are doing the ranked choice vote, and we want everyone participating.
Well, I just want to speak to this a little bit. When you're a candidate for mayor, you interact with the other candidates. You develop a certain chemistry with them or relationships. Some candidates you click with, some candidates less so. I have always liked and admired Kathryn. Riding with her today was a pleasure. Campaigning with her today is something I'm enjoying a great deal. So I'm with Kathryn that people can campaign together and not necessarily see eye to eye on everything, but Kathryn and I are both driven by a vision to help New Yorkers. And I think that's one reason why I've always liked Kathryn and why we're here together today.
So do you stand by the criticisms you've had of each other?
No, I'll say that, we're running for mayor. We're in a position where sometimes you're put in a position where you say things that everyone knows are somewhat political in nature. I'm a huge fan and admirer of Kathryn Garcia's.
And I would actually just put it this way. In ranked choice voting, it might not always be a love fest, but it certainly doesn't have to be a slug fest.
Kathryn, are you telling your supporters to put Yang on their ballot instead of Adams? You're not campaigning with Adams today.
I am not telling my voters what to do. I want them to get out there, and I want them to use the system that we have for ranked choice.
Would you campaign with other candidates then?
I am open to campaigning, but we don't have a lot of time left, do we?
Tim.
Yeah. Two questions. One, whose idea was this? And then also, you had Kathryn, a voter, came up to you and said he was disappointed with you. It seemed like he ranked you 1. To your voters, did you rank Andrew number 2? And what's your reaction to voters who are disappointed with you?
Let's be very clear. I have said that my ballot would be private. My ballot is private. And I would encourage my voters to follow their preferences of who they want to have on their ballot. And that is what I did, and I encourage every New Yorker to do that.
But it seems like you're encouraging your voters to vote, at least put Yang on their ballot, right?
As I said, this is not a cross endorsement.
It's not a cross endorsement, but explain to us how this is fair. Andrew Yang tells his screaming crowd of supporters in Queens today, rank Kathryn Garcia number 2. You say, vote for Kathryn Garcia, and you don't return that solid that he did for you. Why not?
As I've said since the beginning, I wouldn't be in this race if I had a solid number 2.
Sorry. I'm going to read you a statement from Adams that you can respond to. They're saying to
Eric Adams.
themselves,
You need sunscreen here, by the way.
I know,
I have
it's
some.
terrible. They're saying to themselves, anyone but a person of color, So I believe for them to come together like they're doing in the last 3 days, they're saying that we can't trust a person of color to be the mayor of the city.
I'm not even going to respond to that. You want to respond to that as a person of color?
Not particularly. I would say that I would tell Eric Adams that I've been Asian my entire life. Sam.
Yeah, so you said earlier that I'm June 2nd, I believe, that you're a lovely guy, that you don't want somebody for the right switch in office. Do you stand by that?
I stand by everything that I have said during the course of this campaign.
So why are you campaigning with the man and
Because
giving
this is about getting out the vote. This is about getting out the vote. And
Immigrants in New York City. Are you against the sanctuary city kind of vibe, or are you with the sanctuary? I'm an immigrant, so I'd like to know.
But both of us are very
both
much
of us are sanctuary city.
Okay.
Yes. See, we're places where we get along. We didn't actually even plan that, by the way. I just wanted to mention.
Kathryn, you told a voter in Brooklyn yesterday that you were to the right of Mayor de Blasio. Can you explain that a little bit, what you meant by that? And Andrew, are you to the left or right of Mayor de Blasio?
This is really where there's certain policies that I have not agreed with on, but there's certain things that I have. I'm not going to go into detail about a former mayor's policies. I'm going to state
former mayor.
No, regardless of what I do, it will end. I'm not going to talk about the current administration. I'm talking about my race right now.
Okay. Andrew, would you say you're to the left or right of Mayor de Blasio?
I'd say that so many New Yorkers want to turn the page for the de Blasio administration. We have to deliver real change to people and families that have been waiting for far too long.
Ellen, CBS, and Lisa.
For both of you, how do you think you're most
Kathryn and I think we've been together at least a dozen times at some point, right? But Kathryn and I share the same motivations, where we're parents. We want the city to work better for our friends, family members, and neighbors. We want to make the city work for all New Yorkers. One thing I want everyone listening to this to understand: you have absolutely nothing to be concerned about where Kathryn's motivations or integrity or trustworthiness are concerned. She's a good person. She's running for mayor because she's served the city for years and she wants to continue to serve. She thinks she can do some best as mayor. I admire and appreciate this a great deal, and every New Yorker should know that Kathryn, as she seems, she's a very good person. She seems like a great parent. I've met her and that's the kind of quality that we should expect in a mayor. We should expect in a mayor that, look, no mayor is going to get all the decisions right, but at least you shouldn't have to be questioning their character, their motivation, their trustworthiness, whether they're in the pocket of special interest or not. Kathryn Garcia, she's an honest public servant, to me, this alone would be a massive upgrade over some of the other candidates in the race, and frankly the current administration. So when you ask what we have in common, I see that as something that I admire, and Kathryn, I believe I share the same motivation.
What are the differences?
I mean, the difference is, we have different experiences, and that gives us different perspectives on certain issues and the solutions that you might bring to bear. But we both have the same motivations. I just think we have different approaches in some cases. Kathryn?
Yeah. So I do want to concur. I do believe that both of us are coming at this from a real place of wanting to give back to the city that we both love. That I have been a public servant and you have been a business owner brings us to that from different perspectives. But this is not driven by ego. This is really driven by a desire to see the city thrive, to see our kids really do well, to make sure that there's affordable places for people to live, to make sure that we have free school, and to make sure that everyone feels safe in our communities.
CBS.
What about arts and culture? What about protecting Soho?
I think both of I've talked a lot about arts and culture and the need to support arts and culture, and that it is what brings us back.
What Soho represents.
It's what differentiates us from every other city. If we don't have a strong arts and culture. Yes, I absolutely agree. And I hope that when yes.
What infrastructure projects do you want to see completed?
Folks, this is a press conference. Ask your questions first. CBS,
Question
please.
for Andrew. A few months ago, back in March, we covered something similar to this, but you did with Maya Wiley. What made you change to Kathryn Garcia, and what's your relationship?
What event are you describing?
It was near the Brooklyn, that view of the Brooklyn.
So we were being co-endorsed by the freelancers union, and so that was a very different event where the freelancers union decided to co-endorse me and Maya, and I was very proud to be one of their endorsees. So it wasn't really a determination with me and Maya. I suppose we could have asked the freelancers union to try and have two separate press conferences, but that would have
Has your relationship with her changed since then? You and Maya, is there any?
No, I think my relationship with Maya has only grown since then. Maya has stood with my wife Emily, on trying to comfort victims of sexual assault and abuse, and also some of the things that have gone on in the media. My relationship with Maya is only getting better. Lisa.
What is Miss Garcia bring to?
I just want everything
He needed a way from Flushing to here. I had it, so that's how we rock and roll.
If I fell out like this.
Yeah, we should have done it. That would have been very funny. This is really about getting out the vote. We think this helps get out the vote, both in Queens and here in Manhattan. And that is what this is about.
I'll speak for myself on this. Again, people know I like and admire Kathryn. I've been saying the same thing for months. I'm running for mayor to try and do everything to help the city of New York. But it's imperative that we have a mayor that is honest and trustworthy. And if I'm in position to help increase the odds that New York City has a mayor with the right motivation, I'm going to do it.
So this has been asked, but I've not heard a clear answer. It sounds like you have given her a glowing endorsement. Are you also not co-endorsing her? And given every nice thing you've had to say about her today, what is your response hearing she's barely had anything nice to say about you?
So I mean, Kathryn and I, you know, we talk privately. You know, like there are conversations we have that aren't necessarily in this kind of forum. But I'm 100% comfortable letting my supporters know that they should have Kathryn on their ballot because I just think it's the right thing to do for the city. And I have no issue with Kathryn, you know, keeping her preferences on her ballot to herself. I think that's something that every voter has a right to. So I'm comfortable with making this case, and I have that.
Jake, one for both of you and one for Kathryn. I'm not sure if you guys are listening to what Governor Cuomo has been saying about the mayoral race. He kind of pontificates about it on a regular basis now in these briefings. And a lot of his messaging has kind of started to sound, I know he doesn't say he'll endorse anyone, but it sounds quite similar to you know, what Eric Adams' messaging has been. And he has kind of side comments about wanting someone who's serious, which I don't know if that's going to be a big excuse again. And he really has been harping on the crime issue. Do you think he's been helpful at all with what he's been saying? And I know, Kathryn, you said you wanted to work well with him when you get there, but I'm just wondering if you've been hearing anything from had your staff related to
I don't think there's anything more serious than getting endorsed by the police captain union of the NYPD and the firefighters. Yeah. Literally, the people that we're going to be relying upon to ensure public safety and falling crime rates have endorsed me. So I'm excited to get to work and deliver for workers the public safety that we expect.
Yeah, and I would absolutely concur. Making sure that everyone feels safe in the city of Carthage is imperative.
Well, actually, one specifically for you. When we chatted last Sunday, you were speaking about both Andrew Yang and Eric Adams' managerial backgrounds. Obviously, you're here today, comfortable doing that. Why don't you feel like you'd be as comfortable doing that kind of thing with Eric Adams? And you mentioned that you only manage around 100 people.
It's just a different scale. As I said last week, the borough president's office, that's about 100 people. Just one of my jobs, when I was at the Department of Sanitation, is more than 10,000 people. It's just a completely different level of experience that I have. And I am out here campaigning for ranked choice and making sure everybody knows about it, that everybody's getting their polls today, tomorrow, and Tuesday.
Last question, Tina.
So, sorry. The rap just hit me.
Is this Mr. Yang? Is this just
I'm very young right now, so.
Kathryn, so you don't have a number two?
Can I get
Are you going to rank a second candidate? Even if you don't tell us who it is today, are you going to fill out that whole ballot? Sorry.
I rank 5. I rank myself first.
Can we get a response to the shock and drunk shooting that was caught on video with the kids? Kind of.
The unthinkable is happening in New York City, and we're seeing it unfold before our eyes. We have to turn this around as quickly as possible. I'm going to be working hand in hand with the police captains to bring down the rates of gun violence in our city. We need to do a number of things as quickly as possible. We need to staff up the precincts in the neighborhoods that have experienced these rises in gun violence. Right now, only 1 out of 4 shootings in Brooklyn is being solved. That's unacceptable. Having 3 out of 4 shooters still on the streets. We have to increase the number of officers in the gun violence suppression division. Kathryn and I agree on this. Right now, there are 200 officers in the gun violence suppression division. It should be up to 400. Because right now, one of the reasons that that these shootings are going unsolved is that we're simply not dedicating enough investigative resources. I would initiate a new anti-violence and community safety unit or plainclothes officers to go into neighborhoods that are experiencing rising levels of gun violence and try and get the guns out. So there are a lot of things we have to do as quickly as possible. I
else, all I can think about is the parents of those kids and the trauma that those kids were going to go through, being caught literally in the crossfire. This cannot be happening on the streets of New York. I lived through the 70s and 80s. I know what this was like. I know what it means to have your head on a swivel all the time and be on high alert. That is why, as Andrew said, we need to have double the size of the gun suppression unit. We need to actually do the gun buybacks. We need to do smart policing with neighborhood policing and make sure that we're following the data. This is absolutely critical. It's foundational to the rest of the economy, to our education, to everything else you want to do. We don't have a safe city if we are not protecting everyone and making sure that we are getting the reforms that we need. It'll be a place that descends into chaos.
Andrew, did you ask Maya?
You got it, yes. You guys have been going around praising ranked choice voting. That's why you both are campaigning together today. Will either of you be doing similar events with other candidates?
I don't currently have anything on my calendar.
Stay tuned.
Did you ask Maya Wiley to campaign with you, either one of you? She said she declined the request.
Again, stay tuned.
Did you ask her to campaign with you?
We're in regular contact with multiple campaigns.
Is that a yes? She declined your invitation.
Thank you.
Let's campaign. Let's
be some voters. Thank you, everyone.